My calendar says that it's December 10th, but I have a nagging suspicion that it's really October 31st, because just when you thought that 2020 couldn't get any more weird, you find out that it's really Halloween and there's a Halloween party, and YouTube shows up to the Halloween party dressed as Ben Shapiro ranting about facts.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
If you haven't heard the news, yesterday YouTube claimed that they would be banning videos that claim that Trump lost the election due to error or voter fraud because they don't want to allow non-factual information to mislead people. So now you're probably wondering, how do you get YouTube to go from Rachel Dolezal to Mythbusters in 0.3 seconds? I think I know the answer to this one, and the answer should worry you no matter what your views are. So let's go ahead and get right into it. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that sub button. And meme team, you guys ready? Let's go! So when I got the news that YouTube was set to ban videos that claim that Trump lost the election due to voter fraud or error, my initial reaction was genuine confusion. Now, let me provide a little bit of context here. So we were told in the past that validating someone's authentic self-expression and subjective truths were more important than validating objective facts. A foundational and an unquestioned assumption held by people today is that the way that you come to know who you really are is by looking inside, and you need to be true to what you feel inside by living out that truth. So if you were born a biological male but you feel like a female inside, then you have a right to authentically express yourself as a woman, as long as you're happy and as long as you're not hurting anyone else. No one has the right to tell you otherwise, and anything that goes against how you feel inside is considered hateful. Not only do you have the right to express how you feel inside, but it should also be celebrated, acknowledged, and validated by everyone else. The belief that your true self is found by looking inside has gotten so ingrained into our thinking and our culture that today people either just accept it without question or skepticism, or they know they have to accept it without question or skepticism for fear of being attacked and accused of being hateful. This is why, for example, mentioning external facts about a transgender's biological sex is considered to be hateful to so many people. It's seen as hateful because it invalidates how a person feels inside, and the way that we come to know who we are is by looking inside. So ultimately, invalidating how a person feels is the same thing as invalidating that person. In the end, we've come to accept by will or by force the unspoken rule that when it comes down to a conflict between how a person feels inside and what the external facts say, we're supposed to validate how the person feels and deny the facts. As society has adopted this rule, of course, so has social media. Not only have the social media giants adopted the rule, but they also work as enforcers of the rule. The social media giants have ensured that people who violate the rules are banned from their platform and will no longer have a voice in the public square of opinions and authentic self-expression. So historically, the rule has been feelings over facts. But now all of a sudden, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter all decided to change the rules on us. Now we're being told that we should value facts over people's authentic self-expression and over how people feel inside. All of the content creators who authentically express how they felt about the election results are being told that they aren't allowed to express those views in public. All of a sudden, the long and withstanding rule that you're not supposed to validate the facts above how people feel has now changed to validating the facts above how people feel. So they've changed the rules here. Instead of being on the team feelings don't care about your facts, as they've been telling us for so long, now they're on team facts don't care about your feelings, and they may as well just go ahead and use Ben Shapiro as their mascot.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
In the statement yesterday, YouTube essentially said that facts are what really matters, and we won't sacrifice them at the expense of your petty feelings. Who cares how you feel inside? Not us. But immediately, something just seems off here. If protecting against misinformation is so important to YouTube, then why are they all of a sudden doing so now? Why are they not censoring the flat earth videos or videos on ancient aliens and so on? Why is all of this censoring and this fact checking that's taking place on all of these major platforms seem to be mostly political and usually only going in one direction? What makes the facts about things like the election superior to facts about things like biology? So on the one hand, we're told to validate people's feelings above the facts, and on the other hand, we're told to validate facts over people's feelings. And we're also told that if we do the wrong one, then we're going to be considered hateful or dangerous. With so much social credibility on the line, how then are we supposed to decide which of these rules we should be following? And how do these major platforms decide which ones to enforce? The answer is simple, really. It really just comes down to the preference of whoever has the most power. If people have power, they get to push whatever facts they like, and they get to ban whichever facts they don't like. That's all it comes down to, and that's also the most dangerous part about all of this, and I don't think that it matters which side of the debate you land on any of these issues. If you're happy with the fact that people that you don't like get banned, or if you don't want those people who you disagree with to express their authentic expression and have that silence, then you should realize that if these people can do this to people that you disagree with, they can also do it to you. Everyone is biased and no one is perfect. So as long as the rules are subjective and in the hands of people who have so much power, we're all at risk of that power being abused. The only person who's in the position to be able to use their power perfectly, fair, and consistent is God, because he's all knowing and he's all loving. So for those of us that are Christians, even if the entire world decides not to validate us and how we feel, it's okay, because our validation ultimately comes from Christ. He was rejected for the facts about who he really was, so that way we could know the facts about who we really are. He was rejected for his authentic self, so that way we can be validated and accepted despite the worst parts of our authentic selves. So even if the entire world decides to reject us, we know that it's okay, because we were made for another world. So finally, what do we do about YouTube? Now, in my opinion, out of all of the other major social media platforms controlling what you're allowed to say and what you're allowed to think, YouTube no doubt has probably been the best by far. And if you're wondering if that was a compliment to YouTube or an insult to the rest of society and our current state of affairs, then I'll go ahead and leave that up to you to decide. As it stands now, YouTube is still the leading video platform being used in order to get your voice out and your message across. But who knows what things will look like in 5 years from now. As for now, I just created a Rumble account, so join me over there and we'll see how that platform does in the long run. I'll go ahead and leave the link down below in the description. But the next time that you find that YouTube is seemingly being arbitrary and what facts they decide to enforce, what are you going to say?
What do you mean?